talk a little today because I've been feeling extra sensitive.
Oh.
Yeah. I just feel like with everything that's going on right now, it's hard for me to become calm or get calm after I get upset. Like the other day, I was talking to my friend and she kept interrupting me and making suggestions for me, and I just didn't feel like she was listening. And usually I would shrug my shoulders or, it wouldn't feel like such a big deal. But gosh, I felt so sad afterward.
Aww.
Yeah, I was sad and I was angry too. Oh, it was like this feeling of someone sitting right on my chest, and I couldn't say anything, and I just kind of felt like trapped inside my own body, right here especially. Like all the good feelings were just trapped in there.
Oh man. It reminds me of this morning. My sister, Eliza, she loves to pick on me.
Oh yeah, I know that.
But I was having breakfast and she started calling me names. Usually, I just go for a walk. But I can't right now. So I just sat there and I got so angry and sad. Oh, I just felt like my head was gonna explode.
Oh man, that seems like a lot.
Yeah, I started crying. And then I called her an ugly name, and she started crying. We were both so angry and sad.
Yeah. I wonder if other people are feeling that right now. Yeah. I was thinking, and I did this earlier, that maybe we could use an activity that we do at story camp where we make villains. But I thought maybe we could use these emotions that we're having to help us design villains.
Whoa, cool.
Yeah. So I was describing this feeling that I had to Bryce earlier, and he started drawing.
Whoa.
And he drew this picture of the monster that I was describing because of the feeling in my chest, right in my chest. I'm gonna hold it up. Yeah. And we named it Pressure Chest.
Pressure chest.
So Pressure Chest is a villain that has no ears, so it can't listen at all. And it has a big mouth right here and no head. And it eats up all the good feelings and swallows them. And while it's doing it, it stands on top of you. And so it's really hard to breathe. And it feeds off of all those good feelings. And so that when it leaves, you're just left feeling empty and you have a really sore chest and it feels like you can't say anything and it's really horrible.
Oh man, that's a really scary villain.
Well, I was thinking, Snotty, maybe we could make one for you.
Well, okay.
The way that I start is I try and feel where that feeling is in my body. So I could feel it mostly in my chest, kind of my throat.
Oh man, I know where it is. It's in my point. Ugh, my point got so hot when Eliza was making fun of me. I felt like it could burn someone.
Okay. All right, well that's a good start. Maybe we could start there, like come up with a power where the villain can burn people or things or has spikes or something. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I have some good ideas.
Well, why don't I help you draw it since you don't have hands, and we can check in afterward.
Okay. Well, I feel a little better.
Good. You know, me too. Doing art stuff always makes me feel a little better.
Yeah.
How about you tell us about your villain?
Enter Fire Spike. Fire Spike is a sneaky spiker. She takes the spikes off her body and then uses her magic and transforms them into ice creams. And then when someone sees the ice cream, they eat the ice cream, but it's actually fire and it makes them burn on the inside. Ooh. And then everyone has a stomach ache. Whoa. Fire Spike.
Well, there's one more step to this activity, and that's coming up with a backstory. How our villains became villains. Because usually they don't just start out this way.
They don't?
No. Let's brainstorm a little bit and think about how Fire Spike came to be Fire Spike and why she disguises her fire spikes as ice creams and wants them to be eaten by people. Why does she want to cause that kind of pain?
Whoa.
Okay. Same with Pressure Chest. We'll be right back. Ready?
Ready.
Okay, so we came up with backstories. Now, let me tell you the backstory of Pressure Chest.
Okay.
Pressure Chest came into existence on an island surrounded by green water. Now, there was a scientist who lived on the island and he loved doing experiments. And so he would mix together all his ingredients and see what happened. Well, one time he was making potions, and in one potion bottle, he mixed in all these different ingredients and out came this sort of genie-like ghost creature. The scientist was amazed. He'd never seen anything like it. And it opened its mouth. So the scientist thought, okay, it must be hungry. And he grabbed the closest potion just because he didn't know what else to do. And he handed it to it. And it grabbed it with its big arm and drank it down. But it happened to be a potion, a love potion. And so it was filled with all these good feelings. Well, the creature, this genie, didn't know what to do. And it didn't have eyes, and it didn't have ears, and it started flying around and then accidentally slid under the door. Meanwhile, the scientist was chasing after it, but it had become invisible. It associated that feeling of love that it had drank right in the beginning with the scientist, and it was looking for the scientist too. But now, whenever it sensed a being, it would go right under their door, open its mouth, and wait for that feeling of love, and then gobble it up. And it was doing that because it thought that maybe by having more and more and more of those loving feelings, it would find the scientist that created it.
Oh.
Okay, Snotty, your turn.
All right. Fire Spike. This is the story. Fire Spike was a Canadian leftover goblin and born up in Montreal, loved to taste little leftover morsels and then would leave people gifts in exchange. Pretty rocks, feathers, free healthcare, and then he wanted to go on an adventure.
Whoa.
Yeah, so he hopped into a car that was going south. They drove south and ended up in New Orleans.
Oh.
In New Orleans, he tasted all kinds of good food. etouffee and gumbo, and then one day crawfish. But he didn't realize they were so spicy. He ate one piece of crawfish and his belly became on fire. I keep calling it a him. Well, sometimes maybe it can become a him, and sometimes it can become a her.
Did you just think of that now?
Yeah.
Good idea.
So it ate the crawfish and then exploded into fire, but it didn't know how to talk to humans. It only knew how to make magic gifts. That's why it leaves little pieces of ice cream, because that's what it wants, is actually ice cream, but its magic is all scrambled with the spiciness. So that's why it has flames in its belly. It's just trying to say, I need ice cream, but it's accidentally making everyone burn up inside.
Whoa. All right, so we've got backstories for our villains now. It's nice to know that we understand them a little bit more.
Yeah.
So if you liked this activity and want to join us next time, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and we will be back to talk about heroes. Thanks for watching.
Bye.